All right, Hans Themistode, FightHype.com. Here with Andre Rozier. How you feeling today, brother?
What the deal, nephew?
Just a lovely Monday morning,
Yes, it
Monday
is.
afternoon. Have to get your thoughts on. We had a really a good fight this weekend between George Kambosos and Vasily Lomachenko. Lomachenko pretty much dominated from the opening second and eventually stopped him in the 11th round. Were you surprised with how he looked?
Nope, and nope. I call this one. I know he was going to be dominated. Lomo hadn't had a knockout in a while, so it's good to see him return to it. But I knew this was going to be the case. Kambosos is a tough kid, but basically that's all we get. Is he's tough. Against a skilled tactician like Lomachenko, all the mistakes brought out into the light, and he was taken to task and broken down systematically from round one.
How do you kind of explain, because, Kambosos lost 2 times to Devin Haney, dominated also, was dominated against Lomachenko, obviously, seemed like he lost, but was at least a controversial decision against Maxie Hughes, but he pulls off the ridiculous and, pretty big upset against Teofimo Lopez a few years ago. How do you kind of explain that? I know Teo was, sick and things of that nature, but how do you kind of explain it, man?
Moments make fights. Moments make fights. It was the right time, the right place. Like we did say, Lopez was in a pretty bad situation with his health when that fight took place. And not to make excuses for it, but it certainly didn't look like the Lopez that we know. And against Kambosos especially, I was utterly surprised and shocked.
Where does Kambosos go from here? Does he hang up the gloves? Does he look for a few smaller fights? What do you think he should do?
Well, I mean, he could always make money in Australia. He's a popular athlete from Australia. They'll come out to see him. But other than that, what's he going to do? Can he contend against a Shakur Stevenson? Can he contend against a Gervonta Tank Davis? No. So it's going to be really tough for him to try to seek world title contention again.
Lomachenko, on the other hand, seems like the world is his oyster right now. He looked fantastic, becoming the first man to stop Kambosos. Gervonta Davis was on Twitter, and he said that Lomachenko is going to be next after he fights Frank Martin. What do you think about that fight? Do you think Loma will be a little too much for Tank? Do you think Tank at this stage will knock out Lomachenko? What do you think, man?
Oh, that's one of the fan favorite fights I'd love to see. Say that fastly. Fan favorite fights. Just keep saying it. It would be an action-packed bout. I would love to see it. I would really love to see it. I just don't want it to come too late because Lomo is getting up there. If I'm not mistaken, he's about 36 now.
Yep.
So he's right around that corner, 36, 37. We've been seeing fighters go a little bit longer and at their peak, and which is good, but eventually somewhere along the line, it starts to slow down, and it's a dangerous man to be in there in the ring with, who can dictate his policy like Tank can. So it's going to be very, very interesting. I can't wait for it to happen, and I hope it happens in a timely fashion. If not, I don't want to see it.
Considering how Loma looked in his last fight, and obviously Tank has to get past Frank Martin, who's a very tough top contender himself. If that fight was to happen at the end of the year, who would you favor?
Well, I'm a guy that sticks to my guns, and Tank is my guy. But Lomo, if he doesn't lose anything, and he can deal with the type of punching power that's going to be presented to him, it might be a toss-up.
Obviously Tank can, catch Lomachenko and, put his lights out. But is it more likely that Tank kind of, employs the same game plan and, kind of uses his punches sporadically and then catches Lomachenko? Or do you think just Lomachenko's pressure, the perpetual punches he uses, the angles, do you think that's just a little bit too bemusing and confusing for a guy like Tank right now?
Well, I mean, it would be, but it's two southpaws facing each other. It'd be very interesting to see. It really would. The equator is they're both fantastic fighters. The Midas touch for Lomachenko is his craftiness and his ability to shift and control angles in the ring. The Midas touch for Gervonta is one shot and it might be all over.
Another guy who really chimed in and he's been calling for this fight is Shakur Stevenson. Is Shakur too much for Lomachenko right now, or is Loma too much for Shakur? And just going based off his last performance, I mean, at least to me, Lomachenko looked like prime Lomachenko against Kambosos. Who do you think wins that fight?
Very interesting bout. Two boxers, elite status, fundamentals of Class A. I would hope it wouldn't be a stinker, to tell you the truth. When you get two world-class athletes of that character and of that ability, sometimes you get stinkers. They're just trying to outbox each other. So we know Shakur is a master of distance, and we know that Lomo is a master of angles. That already sounds like a stinker to itself. I'm saying it to myself, it sounds like a stinker. But I still want to see it because it makes for good boxing if they get in there and they show all their capabilities.
Would you favor Lomachenko right now, or just the youth is just a little, because Shakur is 26, so he has like a 10-year advantage over Lomachenko, so what do you think?
Well, I think that I have to sort of give the edge to youth in this one because the capability of both of them are so similar. The way they can control the ring, not get hit, it's some amazing stuff. And just like everybody else, you have to be special to really catch up to Shakur. And yes, Lomo's special, but it's a tough one there. I have to add youth to the equation, and I think that it will hold out.
Does Tank give Lomachenko more problems, or give him at least something to think about more with the power?
Oh.
Or is it Shakur that's a little bit more difficult to deal with because of you almost can't hit the guy?
Different aspects. Shakur is an elite tactician in boxing. So you have to keep an eye on everything that he's doing. But power is something that is personified. And Gervonta's not a bad boxer either. A lot of people fail to realize that. They just think because he crushes everybody, that's all there is. But there's more to him than that. And when a guy can box and can really get you out of there with one shot, you got to be wary of him.
When you look at a guy like Lomachenko, how much time do you think he has left in the fight game? Do you think he has like another, he's already the IBF World Champion now because of that win this Saturday, but do you think he has enough time and enough left in the tank to become undisputed, something he's always wanted to do?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, it depends on his physiological capabilities. Will he break down? As he ages, will injuries become a key factor in him maintaining that ability to win? Those are important questions. And I say that because, of course, we were looking forward to Bertubé and Bivol. And once again, an injury occurred in Bertube's training camp. So now that fight has been postponed. So when you get older, injuries happen. They do. They're more current than not current. And we just have to see how well he does and keeping himself in shape and unhurt.
Gotcha. Just my last question for you. We finally have it about 6 or 7 days away. No, 6 days away. 5 days, whatever. From Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury. Finally, an undisputed champion. First time since I believe 1999 with Lennox Lewis, I
Yes.
believe. And so, who do you think wins? Does the great big man beat the great little man? What do you think?
Well, you said it, nephew. I didn't. The great big man, 99.999% of the time, beats the great little man. And we're talking about a great big man. He's big, and he's great. So I think he knows how to use that size like no other guys I've seen as big as he is. And I think it's going to be a tough call for Usyk. Really, I mean, he's going to. I see Fury imposing his size and will on him, and I think it's just going to be a little bit too much for him. And he's a fantastic fighter, Usyk is.
But what do you say about, and I guess it is true that most times the great big man beats the great little man, but we do have, I guess it's subjective conjecture if you consider Anthony Joshua a great big man, but he was a former unified champ on 2 different occasions, and he's on a great run right now. So maybe some would consider him great. And Usyk was able to beat him twice. Do you kind of look at, he's fighting an even bigger man in Tyson Fury, but he was able to take care of business against Anthony Joshua. So does that give you a little bit of reason to be like, I am picking Fury, but Usyk can certainly win this fight?
Oh, listen, of course he can win the fight. As long as you enter the ring, you can win the fight. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
But those are 2 different individuals, Anthony Joshua and Fury. My hand goes up to Fury. When he needs to bring it, he brings it and he lays it down. So my thing is I have to really stick with my choice in Tyson Fury winning the fight.
You stop him?
I don't think so. But I know he's going to try.
Is it going to be competitive though?
It's definitely going to be competitive.
Got it.
Without a doubt.
Got it. Thank you, Dre. Appreciate you, man.
You know what it is, and always remember, it's Havoc time. I'm going to step back a little bit and show you this new piece. What we doing? Havoc all day, all long. We don't play with the clothing either. We are in the hurt business, and we are in the compression business. It's all about dressing right. Havoc time, baby.
My man.